All right, welcome class. I just want to start by reviewing a little bit of the ellipses that we looked at yesterday. This slide that I have up here you actually don't have in your notes. It's a combination of the first couple slides that I put together just for discussion here today. So you can just follow along right now. There's nothing to write down. Just a couple things again that I want to point out. There is an a squared and b squared. What that does is tell you what kind of ellipse you're going to have, whether it's horizontal or vertical. So if we look at this first part, in this first example here, A is going to be bigger than B, always. A is always bigger than B. So this time that A is under the X. Well, remember, this is the x-axis, so this right here is going to be the longest side compared to the other one. Now, if we look at the vertical ellipse, okay, you'll notice A is under Y. Well, that's because that's the larger number, and that's going to be right here. Again, that's called our major axes. Okay, whichever one is the longest one is going to be major. The one that's smaller is the minor. A couple other terms that we talked about yesterday, and you did in the warm-up, was the vertex and the co-vertex. Remember, co is going to be on the small side on that minor axis, where the vertex was on the major axis. It's just the points we're going to grab. Okay, foci, we're going to wait again until I get back on Monday. I want to be here for that part. So today, all we're going to do is review completing the square, but we're going to use ellipses instead. The one thing new with this equation is notice it's equal to 1. So once we're all done, a lot of times we have a number out here. Well, we have to somehow figure out how to turn that into a 1. It's the only extra step here that we have with completing the square. You guys are getting to be pros at this, but again, it's nice to practice and make sure we've got it. So we're going to do a couple examples together, and then you'll try one on your own, and then that will be it for notes today. So pretty short, just a few slides here. All right, so let's start by looking at this one. You will notice something different here. There are numbers in front of the x squared and the y squared. That's going to make the completing square a little bit more challenging. Definitely doable. We've done it in the past, but it will be a review. It's been a couple days. So let's try this. And please write this stuff down. It makes it a lot easier since you're listening to it on your own. You can pause it, write my stuff down, look at it, listen again if I'm going too fast. Or if there's one little part that you didn't quite understand. So please use the video to help you as we go through today. All right, we want to put all the x's together, all the y's together, just like you did with circles. And then that constant, I'm going to move to the other side. So that's going to be my first step here. So notice, I'm just grouping things that are similar together, moving that constant to the other side since it's going to equal a number anyway. It's going to equal 1 when we're done. All right, so now, if there's an a in front of x squared, we have to get rid of it. We got to pull it out front, kind of factor it out. So that's what I'm going to do with both the 9 and the 4 here. So I'm going to divide both of these by 9. Pull it again. It doesn't disappear. I'm just going to move it out there. So now I'm going to have x squared plus 4x. Now remember, I put a line there because we're going to have to complete the square. So we're going to have to figure out what's going to go there. Same thing now with the y's, except I'm going to divide by 4. Now just remember, as stated many times in the past, if you do something to one side of the equation, you have to do it to the other. So I have to add those pink and green lines to the other side also. Okay, so I'll be adding those numbers. I'm going to add the number here, and I'll have to add one when I complete the square for the y. So I have to fill in those lines next. Okay, think about it in your head here for a second. How do we complete the square? What do we need to do? See if you remember. So now, to get that number, you take half of that middle one, which is 4. So 4 divided by 2, and then I'm going to square that. So that's going to give me 4. Okay, now on this side, we're still going to do the same thing with the next one, except it's going to be half a negative 6. Well, that's going to give me negative 3. But if I square that, I'm going to get 9. I'm going to add 9 here. Now, I don't just add a 4 and a 9 over on the other side. Because remember, I had that number I took out. This is what you'll need to remember if there's something that isn't A. So now what I have to do is look at these. So this, I have to multiply together. I technically added a 36 to that. Because it was that 9 that could be distributed through that whole thing. Same thing with this one. I've got to take that 4 and multiply it to the 9. Well, if I do that, I actually get another 36. They are not always the same. It just happened in this problem. Don't think if you figure out one number, you've got the other one. So just keep that in mind. It just happens that they're all 36s in this. That's just unique. Okay. All right, completing the square. Our last step then is to factor what we did when we completed added those new C's there. Give me a second while I erase this. All right, so now I'm going to have the 9. I'm going to get x plus 2, all of that squared, plus 4, y minus 3, all of that squared. And if I combine all this at the end, I get 36. Now, just a reminder on where that came from. To get that, I factored 4 and 4. That gave me my 2 and 2. Over here, I factored my 9 and 6. That gave me -3, -3. Okay, so that's where those came from. Now, the extra step, remember, is it can't equal 36. My equation has to equal 9, or 1. So how do I get rid of that? Well, I'm going to divide everything by 36. So this will be our last step here. So I'm going to divide this by 36. Well, again, if I do it on the right side, I have to do it with everything on the left. So I'll divide that by 36. And so we'll get this. Well, now I'm going to rewrite it and give it simplified. Okay, so 9 goes into 36 4 times. So this is going to be x plus 2, all of that squared divided by 4, because the 36 is bigger, so that is going to be my fraction. Well, 4 goes into 36 9 times. So my next one is y minus 3 squared. All of that, sorry, this pen is acting up again, divided by 9. All of that then will equal 1. So then there is my equation. Okay, just to review a couple things. Center then will be -2, 3. Okay, because again we're going to the left and then up 3. My a will be 3. Remember that's the square root of 9. My b will be the square root of 4, which will be 2. Okay, since 9 is larger and it's under the y, this is going to be a vertical ellipse. So if I graph this, which I'm not going to, we'll do more of this graphing on Monday, but it would be vertical. Okay. All right, let's try one more here and see how it goes. All right, so again, first step is to get all the x's, all the y's together, move the constant over. So that's how it works. This one's a little nicer because for y squared, our coefficient is 1. So I don't have to factor anything out, which always makes it a little bit easier. But of course, there has to be something in front of that x squared then because it's not a circle. So that was 3. So I need to divide my x's all by 3. Now I don't have to pull anything else for this, but I'm going to put my line in. Now remember again, I'm going to have to add something for the x's that I'm completing there and something for the y's. So those are my two colors again to color coordinate that. So now again, I divided that 3 out of the x's, pulled it out front, now I complete the square. So half of 2 squared is going to be 1, so I'm going to add a 1 here. Now remember, that doesn't mean it's a 1 down here. I have to multiply the 3 and the 1. Sorry for that pen again. I have to multiply that, so I'm actually adding 3 to that. Okay, so again, if there's that coefficient out front, you have to multiply it by that number to decide what you're going to add. For the y, half a negative 4 is negative 2. That's squared. A negative 2 times negative 2 again is a positive 4. It's always going to be positive. So this will be 4. And then I'll have to add a 4 here. That one I didn't have to multiply because there was no number out front there. Okay, so now I get to combine everything together and factor. So again, this 3 comes down. This factors, I'm going to just make a little triangle here, 1 and 2, so I get 1 and 1. So x plus 1, that's squared. Now this one, if I factor it, over a negative 4, those are going to be negative 2's. Still can't find that other pen, so I'm dealing with this one. Hopefully it will last. So that's just y minus 2 squared. Now I get to combine all of these together. So 5 plus 4, that's going to be 9. But again, it can't equal that. It has to equal 1 for an ellipse. In ellipse, I have fractions in my equation. So I've got to divide everything by 9 to finish this up. There's technically a 1 there, so I'll just kind of keep that in mind as we go through this last step. So 3 over 9, well, that's a third. So this becomes x plus 1, that's squared, all over 3. This one, there's nothing to simplify that, so that y is going to, that 9 is going to stay under the y. And then we're going to have it equal to 1. Again, like the last one, this 9 is bigger, so then this is going to be a vertical ellipse. So when I draw this, that's not, it's going to be longer like that. Okay, my center, remember it's always opposite of what you see. You're thinking, what number do I put in that top part to get 0? Because that's what I want. So I'm going to get negative 1 and 2. Okay, because the 1 goes with the x, the 2 goes with the y. My a is going to equal 3. That's the square root of 9. That's larger than 3. My b is actually going to equal the square root of 3, which we're not graphing, so that's fine. It can stay the square root of 3, but that's what it would be. All right. Okay, the last slide that we're going to look at is another one for you to try. So please pause the video, try it completely on your own, see how far you can get. I'm going to write up the answers here now, and then you can check it. Okay, so please pause the video, try it on your own, see how close you can get to getting the right answer. And then once you are done, the sub will hand out an ellipse worksheet day 1. That worksheet is going to be due during this class period. Answers are hanging up in the back, so feel free to check them. There's only a couple completing the square, and then the rest is graphing like we did yesterday. If you were gone yesterday, the notes are online, and then so you can get them or talk to someone else in the class. All right, so pause the video, complete the last slide, and then you turn the video back on and check it. Thank you. So I have put the answer down there below. I went step by step again. Get your x's and y's together, pull out that 9 with the x's, take out the 2 with the y's, complete the square by taking b, cutting it in half and squaring it. Just remember again, to figure out what to add on the right, you have to multiply that a times the new c. So 9 times 4 and 2 times 1. Then I factored them and then divided by 18 because I needed it to equal 1 in the end. Again, another vertical one, the largest numbers under the y, my center would be negative 2 and a positive 1. So If you have other questions, there are videos on Khan Academy or something like that where you could go and check, ask other students in the class, and just kind of see how it goes. But that is what you will have to work on today. So please work on everything else that is the sub has planned for you today. Thanks. See you Monday.